Hello, and welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and in this class, and at this hour here on Verbling for the next 2 days, after following 2 days, we are going to be looking at simple verb tenses in English, how they are formed, and the various uses. I will introduce these various uses to you, the students, and then I will have you practice forming your own sentences until we get the idea. I will basically every week, this week we'll look at the simple tenses. Next week we'll have a series on continuous verb tenses. The week after, perfect. The week after that, the perfect continuous verb tenses. So basically, May will be verb tense month at this particular time slot here on Verbling. So I hope you can join me for many of these classes. Okay, starting out with present simple. Let me welcome Tatiana to the class. Hello, Tatiana.
I'm here. Hello, teacher. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. Russian people have a big holiday in my, and I have 1 first, 2 second, 4 3, and 4 day holiday.
Okay. What is the holiday? I know May 1st is Labor Day, or pretty much.
Yes, Labor Day. Yes.
Right. Is it all just a long weekend, or are there 2 holidays? I'm a little confused.
Why is this holiday?
Is it just it's all one holiday? Labor Day, long weekend?
No, it is holiday. We have big holiday. It is 1st May. It is day of work and of world. And we have in my 2 big holiday. It is 19th May. It is big holiday. Soviet and Russian people.
Right. Victory Day or what have you. May 9th, right?
Yes, 9th, yes.
Okay.
9th
May. In English, it's more of an A sound. Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, we're going to get to our simple present tense. Thanks for talking to me for a little bit, clarifying that for me. I appreciate that, actually. Let me go ahead and welcome some others to the class. Hello, is it Germain?
Hello, teacher.
Is that right?
Yes, of course.
Wow, I recognized you and I recognize your name in spelling. Wow, I'm learning how to read Russian Cyrillic writing. Wow. So proud of myself. Well, welcome to the class, Germain. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
All right. Cool. And also, Xingyu has joined us. Hello, Xingyu. How are you today?
Hi, teacher.
Hi.
I just came back from river.
Had a little swim?
I enjoy swimming.
Cool. Well, glad that you're nice and refreshed. Great. Okay. Again, this month we're going to be looking at the verb tenses in English. Each week I'm going to present a different present, rather simple this week, and then progressive or continuous, however you want to say it, next week, and then perfect, so on. So we got to start somewhere, so we're going to start with a simple present. Quick shout out and welcome to Julio. Hello, Julio.
Hey, Teach. How's it going?
Going okay, man, considering it's Monday for me. Monday's
Okay.
Not my favorite, but hey, we'll get through it. All right, so we're going to start Monday, for me anyway, in a simple way, and here we go. All right, let's talk about simple present tense. The form, basically the root verb, and then we will add s or es when the verb is in the used in the third person. That is to say, with he, she, or it, we will add s. So I run, they run, okay, singular or plural, but in the third person, she runs with an s. That's called conjugating the verb, or we can also call that subject-verb agreement, making sure that the singulars and plurals match whatever. Okay, let's look at some examples of what it looks like in a simple statement. This is to say a positive statement, subject noun you, and the verb speak, and object noun English. Pretty simple. About as simple as you can get it. Well, that's why it's called the simple tense. However, when we get to questions or negative statements, we're going to have to introduce an auxiliary verb or auxiliary verb. Auxiliary means help, to help, so a helper verb, do. So for example, in a question, as always, by the way, the auxiliary or first auxiliary, no matter how many we need to form a verb tense, in a question, the first auxiliary will go first. So, do you speak English? Okay, subject, verb, object. Okay, fine. Subject, verb, it's not necessary to have an object. In this example, we do. Or in the negative, you, and then notice also we have the auxiliary do again, not. We'll follow that do. You do not speak English. Obviously, in speaking, we usually contract any of the auxiliary plus not. In the negatives, we normally contract them. The contracted form is don't. You don't speak English, is how we normally would say that. Okay, well, that's basically how we form it. Now, before somebody asks me, because somebody always does, this first example here, you speak English. Okay, that's how we form the present simple in this regular statement. Somebody will inevitably ask me when I teach this class, why I have heard, but teacher, I have heard somebody say you do speak English. Well, okay, for example, I'm surprised. I didn't realize that you speak English. I might say, oh, you do speak English. Something like this. Maybe even with an expletive. Oh, you do speak English. Notice I'm very much highlighting do here. Okay, this is not wrong. In this case, we're adding do here for emphasis. And yes, this can happen. Of course, this is not normal. This is not the normal form, basically, but you most certainly will hear this upon occasion. You're basically really using this not so much as an auxiliary verb, but more like an adverb, really, to highlight your main verb, speak. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So much for that. Okay, let's look at the uses, and then you guys are going to form some sentences. Quick shout out and hello to Anna. Christina. Hello, Anna. Welcome.
Hello, teacher.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, teacher?
I'm doing okay. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, let's take a look, and then you guys are going to practice, so get ready. First, we are going to practice making sentences that express a repeated action It is repeated or it is usual. In the diagram, I think this pretty well expresses it. X, 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 X. This action takes place all the time. Does not necessarily have to be every once an hour, every hour. Okay. All right. It just has to happen regularly. It can be, this action can be a habit. These are common. A habit, perhaps a hobby, something you like to do, perhaps a daily event, whatever. Daily event, it can be a daily event, weekly event, monthly event, yearly event, something, as long as it happens regularly, and I like regularly to describe this usage. Scheduled event, just plain anything that often happens. Okay. It can also be something a person often forgets or does not do. We can, the same idea, but in the negative. Something that does not happen regularly. Okay, he never comes to work on time, for example. All right. Using these examples, we're going to make our own sentences. And when we make our own sentences, feel free to play around. Test yourself. Create a negative sentence. Create a negative question. I don't care. Create a two-subject sentence. Create a two-verb sentence. I don't care. Go wild. Test yourself and see what you can do. All right. Here's some examples. I play tennis. That's pretty darn straightforward. She does not play tennis. The negative. All right. That's it. Simple question. Does he play tennis? Here we see a scheduled event. The train leaves every morning at 8 a.m. Okay, obviously, if it leaves at 8, it does not leave at 9. Okay, fine. Something that does not happen regularly. In the question form, when does the train usually leave? She always forgets her purse. Okay, simple present to show something that she does not do over and over repeatedly. He never forgets his wallet. There it is. Okay, here we have a longer period of time. Every 12 months, the Earth circles the sun. Okay, it doesn't matter how long the time interval is. I was trying to express that idea to you guys earlier. All right, let's give it a try. Tatiana, starting with you. A sentence that talks about something that happens regularly.
She goes to yoga every day.
All right. Work. Goes to yoga every day. Why is it all? Hang on, I don't really need that all to be bold. She goes to yoga every day. Perfect. You've got it. Just as you spoke it, I wrote it, and yeah, very good. That's it. One quick note, just I want to share with you, just because here it is. Here's a mistake that I frequently make, actually. So I want to warn you guys about it. Every day, there is another word every day where the words are together. I do this all the time, to be perfectly honest. I use the compound word, the two words together, when really I mean every day, adjective, noun. Every day together is used as an adjective. It's an everyday event. Okay, not he does it every single day, but used as an adjective to explain something that happens. Okay. Okay. Doing the dishes is an everyday task, for example. Then I would use this form. Okay, but anyway, verb tense. Yeah, you got it right. Very good, Tatiana. Germain, why don't you give it a try?
Okay, he goes to work Every morning.
Okay. All right. Basic, pretty close to the last sentence, but again, of course, it's perfectly correct. All right, no problem. Okay, Zinio. Zinio, are you there? Yeah.
Hi, teacher. I'm there. I'm
Okay. You're here. I'm here. I'm
what
there. Okay, just make a sentence if you want. You can be a little creative. You can try a question or a negative. But go ahead, make a sentence using present simple. The idea is we want to talk about a repeated action, a habit, a hobby, a daily event, scheduled something.
I often get up early on Tuesday.
Really? What a coincidence. Me too. I have a
Because,
very early because. Okay, we're not done. Okay.
because I have 3 classes for my students.
Okay. A little longer sentence. Okay, subject. Okay, here's something to note. He's made a little more complicated sentence, so there's a little more to talk about here. Number one, there's our subject, I. Notice that he has used an adverb, which acts on the verb to show how often he does this verb. Okay. Adverb of frequency, notice the placement in front of the verb. That is perfect. That is where it's supposed to do. If you're going to talk about how much you do something, then how often or seldom you do something, that this is where that adverb belongs, right in front of the verb. Okay, which of course, obviously, it's a regular action, so this would be very common to use an adverb of frequency with present simple. Also, worth noting, Zinho has chosen to use a phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs are going to work exactly the same as regular verbs. Phrasal verbs made up of 2 words, sometimes even 3. However, using an auxiliary, using a past tense ed ending, using ing with a progressive, all those things happen exactly the same as a regular verb. So that is also worth noting. He has 2 clauses, an independent clause and a dependent clause. Notice, again, second dependent clause has a subject, a verb, present simple. I have 3 classes. Again, regular activity. There we go. Okay, a little more complicated, but perfect. Great. And obviously 2, actually he's showing 2 regular activities. Okay, Julio, your turn, please.
If you watch TV many hours a day, your eyesight goes bad.
Okay. All right. Huh. Okay, this is interesting because, of course, you're using the if clause here. This is interesting. Okay, we have obviously use subject noun and then the present simple watch TV in the present tense. Got a little conditional sentence going on here. There should be a comma, right? Now this is fine. Now normally we have in the condition and then the result. In the result clause, normally we might have will. It's okay he didn't say will here because it's implied. It's all right. your eyesight will go bad. Your eyesight goes bad. This is clearly talking about the future. Actually, no. I'm sorry. This is a zero conditional, right? Sorry, I'm sorry. You could say it that way, but he uses present tense. That's fine. So he is assuming. Actually, this is actually closer to what we're looking at next.
Teacher,
Yeah, facts
I
or
have
generalization. Yes.
for full sentence, can we use the first conditional?
You could. That's what I was trying to say. I was saying it very badly. You can say your eyesight will go bad. Okay. To show that you think it's a real condition. The zero conditional, you use present tense in both clauses because you want to show it in your mind to be a fact or generalization. If you drink plenty of water, you won't be thirsty. Well, okay, well, actually, that's will not. I'm sorry. Now I'm using the real conditional. Okay, if you stab yourself in the eyeball with a knife, you die. Okay, well, all right. There you go. All right. When there can be no doubt about the result, is what you're expressing. This is actually closer to what we're going to look at next. Now, it's interesting because, okay, watching TV many hours a day is a habit. So it's interesting because really he's in the first clause, he's really talking about, he is talking about a repeated action. And the second clause, he's basically intimating that as a fact or generalization. It doesn't matter. Whatever, okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter because in both cases we use present simple tense to convey that idea. So this is a correct sentence. There's nothing wrong with this. You do need to add this comma when you have a subordinator. A subordinate clause is first in a sentence. You need to have a comma. But the verb tenses are correct. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. A little bit more complicated. And any questions about that, or we move on? Anna Christina, your turn. Give it a try. Remember, we're trying to focus on repeated action.
I like go to the gym with my husband every morning.
With my husband?
Yeah.
Somebody else's husband. Woohoo! Okay, my husband. All right. Fine. That's good. All right. I like go to the gym. Okay. Your main verb here is like, Anna. So one thing, you've already got your main verb in the present simple, which is correct. But then you want to show what you like is an actual action. So I like to go to the gym. There we go. Now we got it. You need to make that an infinitive, which of course is very common behind the main verb. I like, I love, I hate. You want to show that it's an action that you like or love or hate. You need the infinitive there. But yeah, every morning. Okay, it never hurts to add a time word or a time phrase to clarify, to support the idea that it's a regular activity. Great. Okay. Next.
I have a question, teacher.
Shoot. Yeah. What do you got?
Well, you know that there are some verbs that if you're gonna put another verb after that one, sometimes you gotta use the infinitive and sometimes you gotta use the gerund, right?
I sure do know that.
And yeah, of course. But there are some verbs where you can use both.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So the main question, like I've been like debating this with other students and with teachers also.
I'm sure.
There is this fringe belief that there is actually a difference between I like to go and I like going. So what's your take on that?
Uh, yeah. Well, there's. It's just first of all, let me say this is to my mind, this is the biggest pain in the neck in English. Frankly, you pretty much hit the nail on the head here. This is one of the biggest challenges. I mean, there are other challenges, phrasal verbs, for example, where you have to learn each one, idioms. But here's another which is similar, because you basically have to learn behind the main verb. The main verb is the predicator. The main verb is what decides. Do you use a gerund following it or an infinitive? And it's a pain in the neck because it's like phrasal verbs. You have to learn each phrasal verb. You have to learn, is it separable or inseparable? What is the one by one grammatical rules? Huge pain in the neck. Is there a difference in meaning? Well, slightly. This is how I look at it, but I really think this is semantics. Frankly, to be perfectly honest, I think however you can square it in your own mind, what makes sense for you, if it's slightly different than what I'm about to say, then go with what is logical for you, really. If what I'm about to say doesn't work for you in your brain, then I'm not saying what I'm saying is perfect, okay? Huge disclaimer. But I personally more or less think when we use the infinitive, we're kind of emphasizing that action, okay? But when we use a gerund, a gerund is basically used as a noun, an object noun, and we're concerned more with the concept of the action. That's how I look at it. That works for me. Okay, Julio?
Let me see if I get it. So imagine that I had an accident and I'm crippled and I can't move. But I love seeing people swimming. And can I say I love swimming even though I don't swim? And is it any difference if I say I love to swim? Then people will look at me and say, "Come on, you can't swim." You will think like a rock. So is that the idea?
I think so. Yeah, and that's how I look at it. I love swimming, even though I can't swim. I love it. I love skydiving, but I've never done it, Julio. It's like one of my dreams. But I love skydiving, the concept of it. Now, well, there you go, Julio. I've never gone skydiving. I've always wanted to. So I can tell you, Julio, one of these days I'm going to go because I love skydiving. I love the concept of it. But it would be totally wrong for me. I would be lying to you if I said I like to go skydiving because I've never actually done it. All right? Does that
All right, yeah.
match what you're that's pretty much matching what you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's the same idea now.
Okay.
Now we have to figure out how does that work with the rest of the verbs.
Yeah, I know it's a pain in the neck. We could spend about 45 years looking at that concept. That's a pain in the neck concept, really. Okay, it's a good question though. Thank you. I love good questions like that challenge me. I love it. Okay, let's throttle back our brains slightly. And put it in neutral because now we're going to talk about a very basic use of present simple. Facts or generalizations. Always remember, okay, when you're using verb tense, and I will say this in the next month again, we're going to cover verb tenses. I'll say this to you many, many times if you attend my classes. The use of the verb tense is entirely up to the speaker. Whatever the speaker's perception of reality is, whether he's, whether he thinks something is realistic or not realistic is in the mind of the speaker. The choice is up to the speaker, or, of course, or writer, whoever's conveying the information. So keep that in mind when we look at this next use. Fact or generalization is as the speaker or writer believes it to be. Okay, the speaker believes. Whether you agree with the speaker or not has nothing to do with his use of the verb tense. Wrap your head around that idea. The speaker believes it was true before, true now, true in the future. Again, it is not important if the speaker is correct. It is up to the speaker to create the verb tense necessary to convey his idea. We also use this to make generalizations about people or things. Okay, here we go. Cats like milk. All right. Birds do not like milk. Okay, you know what? I have no idea if that's true or not. I have absolutely no idea, actually. But whoever wrote this apparently believes this to be a fact. Do pigs like milk? I have no idea. Okay. In the question form, again, formed the same way. Asking if something is a fact. All right. Do pigs like milk? I don't know. Does a bear go beep in the woods? I don't know. Okay. California is in America. Well, certainly that would seem to be a fact. And a negative fact, California is not in the United Kingdom. Windows are made of glass. Okay. Windows are not made of wood. New York is a small city. Okay, it is not important that this fact may be untrue. Maybe it is true for some of you who live in enormous megapolises like Mexico City or Beijing. Maybe you would say New York is a small city comparatively. And in your mind, that would be true. Who's to argue? Okay. Let's see if we can zip around and do a fast round of facts. Tatiana, just the facts, ma'am. What is something you think is true? Tatiana? Have we lost connection? Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, there we go. All right, very good.
Sentence.
Okay. Yeah, sentence. Facts or generalizations?
A laptop is a smart machine. Two sentences. A laptop doesn't a smart machine because people make the programs for it.
Okay, it is or is not a smart machine?
It is. Laptop
Is a smart machine.
laptop
Is that right? Do I have it right so far?
A laptop,
Tatiana, I think
a laptop isn't a smart machine because people make a program the programs for it.
Okay, gotcha. Got it. Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm. Okay, the negative.
Yes.
Okay, is not. Okay, the negative. All right. Present simple to show, okay, she believes that it's not a smart machine because people make, okay, regular habit. This is like earlier we looked at, okay, we have two clauses here because we have because. And really in one clause, we're using the verb to indicate that it's a fact or generalization that she believes. And in the other clause, okay, we're saying that something, well, maybe it's a generalization that people do this. Maybe she's talking about things that people do regularly. Really doesn't matter which exact use. The information is still the same. So here's another thing to keep in mind as we continue to look at verb tenses. Frequently, there will be different uses of a verb tense. It happens a lot that you happen to be killing two birds with one stone. You can be fulfilling 2 or even 3 uses of that verb tense in the sentence, and that's okay. That happens all the time, especially with future tenses. Future tenses, is it a plan? Is it a prediction? Maybe it's both, a plan and a prediction. And it doesn't really matter. So when you have overlapping reasons for using a verb tense, don't sweat it, okay? Don't panic. Don't worry about which one exactly, because that happens a lot, frankly. Okay, move on. Germain.
Okay.
Okay. Fact.
Dogs like uh, uh, to walk around the yard.
Okay.
Simple
Yeah.
example.
Simple example. All right. Sure they do. All right. Okay. Now, again, I'm not really sure if he means that dogs just like to walk around, because that's what dogs do. Or is the yard, I don't have a context, does he mean his yard? Is it a regular thing that happens out in front of his house? I don't know. Doesn't, without context, I don't really know, but it doesn't matter, because either way, he's got the right verb tense. Okay. Zingio, your turn. Zingio, are you there? Verbling to Zingio. Verbling to Zingio. Come in, Commander Zingio. Are you there? Okay.
Hi, teacher. I'm back.
Okay.
Oh, you just wake me up.
I woke you up. Okay. All right. All
What's
right.
your
Just give me a sentence with a fact or generalization. Using
fact?
a present simple. Yep. What you consider to be true. Or it can even be a generalization. Even a stereotype are often spoken about in the present simple.
I participate more lessons on verbally.
Hmm? Wait a minute. Now here we might have a problem.
I I participate more lessons on verbally. My sentence is wrong.
It might be, because you have a comparison here.
Yes.
More than before, so that present simple might not work. This isn't a regular thing because something's changed. There's more than before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I give you another sentence.
Yeah, that might be better. Yes, this isn't going to work because we're going to have some kind of time shift because we have more than before. You might have to use I have been participating in more verbling classes. I have participated in more classes lately. Something like that. You're heading toward using a perfect tense there. Okay. Another fact.
The moon circles the earth.
Oh, there you go.
And the earth circled the sun. And the earth circles the sun. So, and man
I am dizzy.
circles a woman.
Really?
Oh, a woman circles The
You really want to get yourself in trouble here, huh?
a woman a woman circles a man.
Okay. Now there you go. I think I'm gonna help you out here and say, all right, this is from his perspective. Doesn't have to be true if you don't have to agree with it. Okay. All right. Fact, generalization, maybe suspect. Okay. Fine. Julio. A fact, generalization, stereotype. What do you got? A negative. A question.
Sure.
I don't know.
Mexicans know how to repair cars very well.
uh, okay. Cars. Not cards. Cars. Very well.
And
Yeah, that's a good one. Stereotype. This, my friends, is a stereotype. Of
opinion.
course, all Mexicans can't repair cars. That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a generalization. And again, all right, we're using present simple tense. Absolutely. Yeah.
The thing is that if all Mexicans know how to repair cars very well, then we wouldn't have any repair shops in Mexico, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's a silly thing, but it's a good example. I was kind of hinting that I wanted somebody to give me a stereotype to show how that we use this for generalization. So perfect example. Thank you. Excellent. That does the trick. Anna.
I have a question.
Okay, hang on, Anna, just a second. Zingu, what's your question?
W- What's the stereotype? I'm not sure this word.
Stereotype?
Stereotype.
Stereotype is basically a generalization made about people. Okay, it's a generalization that made about people. Like all Mexicans know how to repair cars. Okay, all Chinese people are good at math. There you go.
And
All right, you got the idea. All Americans love cheeseburgers. There you go. Okay. Anna, Christina.
Okay. Everybody, everybody.
Loves Raymond.
No, 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 no.
Oh, yeah.
No. Everybody need speak at least two languages. For example, they speak an English languages.
Okay. Everybody needs. Okay. Everybody needs. Everybody. Oh, by the way. Okay.
Everybody need.
Everybody.
Teacher, why needs? No need.
Because everybody is he needs. Everybody needs love. Okay. It's like third person. It's a neutral. Everybody, we don't. It's singular, but a neutral. We don't know if it's a he or a she, but everybody needs, and then we need. Actually, this is a phrasal modal. Need to do something. I need to go to the store. They need to go to the store. Everybody needs to go to the store. Okay.
Which is silly, by the way, because if you're saying everybody, you are definitely talking about more than one person.
Yeah, it is kind of silly. Yeah. Isn't English crazy? Okay. Anybody? Yeah, I was thinking about anybody. Any of these buddy things. Everybody needs help sometimes. It's definitely true. You're definitely going to use this third person with the S. Everybody runs to the store when they have a sale. Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right. Anyway, needs to. The modal. Okay. Needs to speak at least 2 languages. Okay. Now here we're talking about using a modal. All right. Well, this is a modal. Okay. Okay. In present tense, for example, I can swim. All right. There you go. Notice when we use a modal first, we still use you always use the verb after modal. In this case, it's easy to get confused because it's a 2-word modal. Here, to make it easier, I can replace it with must. Everybody must speak. There. It gets tricky with needs to because that's a phrasal modal. It's not really a verb. Everybody must speak at least 2 languages. Okay? Any questions about that? A little tricky with need to.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Let's, all right. Now, here's the tricky one. Okay, the other ones are fairly obvious. Okay, it happens all the time, so therefore it's kind of true. It's a fact or something perceived as pretty much a fact. This one gets a little tricky. This is the one that trips people up. We actually can talk about the future. But, huge but. It has to be, we don't normally ever do this unless we're talking about, very important, both of these things, a scheduled event and the very near future. You're not going to talk about something that will happen 2 years from now using the present simple. No. In the very near future, something that's happening later today, for example, or first thing tomorrow morning. Okay, most commonly done when talking about, for example, public transportation, but it can be used with other scheduled events as well, things like a party, a meeting, an appointment. That's basically these kinds of scheduled, all right, it's got an exact hour you're supposed to be there kind of things. All right, let's take a look at some examples. The train leaves tonight at 6 p.m. Is it wrong to say the train will leave tonight at 6 p.m., future tense? No, it's not wrong. Absolutely not. Is it wrong to say the train is leaving tonight at 6 p.m., present continuous? No, it is not. It is perfectly okay to use the same, to use future, to use present continuous, or to use present simple. Okay. It could be in the negative in the next example. The bus does not arrive at 11 a.m. It arrives at 11 p.m. Okay, again. All right. Now, again, I'm not really even sure if this is talking about a future event or is it talking about a regular event? Really, it's very close. And sometimes we don't really know. But it's not important because the information is the same. In the question form, when do we board the plane? Obviously, this is something you would say as you're waiting in the chairs at the airport. So when are we going to board the plane anyway? Okay, when are we going to board the plane? When do we board the plane? Whatever. Obviously, that's the plan. We're all getting on the plane. We're going to fly somewhere. Again, the party starts at 8 o'clock. Party, meeting, audition, anything that's planned for a certain time. When does class begin tomorrow? Okay, let's see if we can, what are shortly in the future. It has to be scheduled. It has to be in the very near future. Let's see if we can give this a try. Tatiana.
I have next English lesson in Verbing at 3 a.m.
Have a what? English lesson?
English
Just English lesson?
at, yes. I have English lesson in Verbing at 3 a.m.
Oh, no. What are you doing? 3 a.m. Okay. Not a lesson, but a lesson. I have an English lesson in Verbling. Okay, at 3 a.m. In Verbling, or on Verbling, on the internet. I think on.
I have next
debatable.
English lesson on. Yes, on. I have.
Oh. Sorry, Tatiana, you cut out a little bit there. What were you trying to tell me? Tatiana?
I'm here.
Okay, what were you trying?
Stupid.
Which you have told us is a fact earlier. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you're cutting out. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna move on. Germain, all right. Near future, very near future, scheduled event.
I won't say about English lesson too, but
It's okay. Whatever.
I start work at 9:30 tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Definitely. Yeah, that one works. Okay. All right. Totally makes sense. Right. If we're talking about something very normal, this happens in a conversation when you're trying to figure out your schedule and the timing of events. Okay. Well, actually, I can't meet you at 10 because I start work at 9:30 tomorrow. Notice also he used tomorrow. All right. This is also very common when we use present simple tense in this form to show this. We are definitely at 3 a.m. tomorrow. We usually likely actually say the time to help clearly indicate that this is happening in the near future. This is actually this is how we do it. When we use it, we clarify it with a little extra time information. This is normal. Something like, when do we board the plane? Well, obviously you say that when you're sitting right outside the gate. So it's pretty obvious you're talking about something going to happen soon. Okay, Xingyu.
My teaching work begins at 2 p.m. Although it's very boring and laborious. Laborious.
Yeah, hang on, let me catch up. Laborious or laborious. Is laborious a word? Laborious?
Let
Laborious.
me play
Laborious.
the online dictionary.
Laborious.
You
No,
have,
no, this is right. Laborious. This is it. This is interesting. Laborious. Sometimes I was confused momentarily because I forgot.
Laborious.
Right, laborious. That is correct pronunciation. But we frequently, this is one of those words with the vowel R. Okay, like comfortable, comfortable. laborious, laborious. We sometimes reduce the pronunciation. Yeah. Okay, this frequently happens with middle syllables that are vowel R. We often reduce them, reduce pronunciation, or even drop the syllable entirely. Okay.
Can you pronounce the word again? When you're reduced.
Sure. Unreduced, it's laborious. Reduced, laborious. Laborious. It's just really fast, and it's reduced to a schwa sound instead of laborious, laborious. Basically, what I'm doing actually is I'm instead of stressing the middle syllable, I'm stressing the first syllable. So you will hear that it is basically a reduced form. Technically speaking, not correct, but common. Okay, Julio, what are we doing? All right, something happening in the near future, scheduled event.
I start my diet next Monday.
Oh yeah, great. Great, and we've got the time phrase in there next Monday to show that this is in the future. This would be a very, very commonplace, normal thing to say. Okay, and Anna, Christina. Anna, are you there?
Yeah. When do we go to the party?
Okay.
When?
Yeah, when, when. Okay, when do we go to the party? Okay, that's possible in context. If you're all standing around and you're wondering when you're going to go, yeah. Yeah, it's possible. All right, in the right context. If it's obvious you're asking a question like, when do we board the plane? It's obvious that you're about to do it. You just don't know exactly when. Okay, we've only got moments left. Don't worry, we're going to talk about the non-continuous verbs tomorrow anyway when we look at past tense. Just quickly want to show you an example of passive in this present simple. Okay, active sentence, Tom, the subject, does the action. Tom cleans the car. In a passive sentence, basically we're taking the object noun and putting it in front. It's now the subject. The car is cleaned by Tom. Okay, so the action happens to the car. We don't even, thing is with a passive sentence, we don't really need to know who does it. Once a week the car is cleaned. It's not really, maybe it's not important, maybe it's obvious, maybe it's done by several different people, but for whatever reason it's not really important. We know who does the action. Anyway, that is it. The car is cleaned, or if it's plural, of course, the cars are cleaned. Very important. We're going to be looking at passives. Basically, the verb to be in a passive in the passive tense shows the actual verb tense. It will always be followed by, and it doesn't matter what verb tense you're talking about. The verb to be is the part that shows the verb tense. It's then followed by the past participle of the verb. The hamburger was eaten by the tiger. Okay, that's past tense. Hamburgers are eaten by the tiger every day, like that. Okay, eat, ate, eaten. So eaten is the past participle. Every passive uses the past participle. That's how you identify it. Okay, that's it for time. I've got to get going. Got a private lesson to teach, so thank you guys very, very much. Thank you. I hope you can join me tomorrow. We'll look at past simple.
Take care, Oakley.
All right. You
Thank
too.
you.
Take